doing fine. It's a living life.
Namaste, friends, and welcome back to The Way Om Yoga. My name is Sarah, and today I'm going to be guiding you through part 2 of this 7-part series where we are going to go inward and explore the 7 Hermetic Principles and use those principles as an overarching theme for our yoga practice. Now, today's practice is going to focus on the second law, the law of correspondence as outlined in the 7 Hermetic Principles. This is personally one of my favorite of the 7 Hermetic Principles because it deals with that phrase, as above, so below, as within, so without. And for me personally, what that statement means is just whatever we're meditating on, whatever we're consuming, whether that's on a spiritual level or a physical level, it's going to emanate outward into our 3D experience. The good news is that we can control our outer world, our 3D experience here on planet Earth, by focusing on practices like meditation and yoga to help better guide us and better direct our energy, right? So we're creating by with intention, not just by default, right? So we're going to go inward and explore that theme today in today's practice. The law of correspondence also deals with sacred geometry. So everything down from like the smallest microscopic level, like a cell, for example, to that of a tree, to that of what we see in like the cosmos and the celestial bodies. It all has this sacred geometry, this repetition, this pattern that you see in all living things. So you'll probably notice today we're going to do a lot of symmetric movement, a lot of upward and downward motions, kind of creating a mirroring effect within the body. So today I want us to adopt that theme of seeing ourselves as sacred geometry, right? We are these temples housing these beautiful sacred souls. So that's going to be our theme for today, and I really hope that you enjoyed this just as much as I have enjoyed preparing this for you all. All right, so for today's practice, you don't need any props, but of course you're always welcome to grab them if you need them to better accommodate your practice. But we're going to get things started by coming into child's pose. And as a general reminder, you can always come back into child's pose whenever you need to, for whatever reason. Coming to your breath on your next inhale through the nose. And exhale. Good. And just meditating on that theme. Maybe if you want to have as a mantra, you can tell yourself throughout the practice, as above, so below. As within, so without. And let that just be your guiding light throughout this practice. And as I mentioned before, you are welcome to stay here and revisit child's pose for as long as you need to. But otherwise, let's go ahead and make our way into our first downward facing dog. Any degree of movement here in down dog. Simply just getting acquainted with this posture, pedaling out the feet, letting go of any tension in the upper body, especially the head and neck. Getting a nice stretch here for the backs of the legs and the hamstrings as well. Good. Beautiful. And then from here, friends, we're going to go ahead and just step the feet about hip distance apart. And all we're going to do is just simply walk those hands back, meeting in forward fold. Letting the head hang heavy here for just a moment. Good. And nice and slow, like links of a chain, we're just going to simply roll up to standing, taking all the time that you need. Gorgeous. Let's make our way to the front of the mat. We're just going to do one cycle of Sun Salutation A just to get us nice and warmed up for this practice. So on your next inhalation, let's sweep both arms up, shall we? Exhale. Let's go ahead and hinge at the waist, coming into forward fold. Inhale, it's halfway lift. Exhale, yogi's choice. Let's make our way back first into downward facing dog. Now, you can flow through the vinyasa. If you're skipping the vinyasa for whatever reason, just hang tight in down dog or in child's pose. But if you're ready, let's go ahead and start to shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, you can come into cobra or up dog like I'm demonstrating here. Exhale, let's roll on the tops of the feet. Coming back into our downward facing dog. Gorgeous. Now from here, on your next inhalation, that right leg will come up and back behind you for three-legged dog. Exhale. Let's just gently take this over into down dog with a twist. Just a nice way to warm up. Beautiful. On your next inhale, it's three-legged dog. Exhale, we're gonna step the right foot forward. So listen carefully. If you need to shorten your stance a little bit, go ahead and do that. But we're gonna remain upright on the ball of the left foot here, making our way into crescent lunge. Beautiful. And if you would like to add on from here, so again, getting into that theme of as above, so below, I want you to consider bringing that left arm up towards the ceiling and then either placing that right hand either on your waist or bringing it to the back of the left thigh. Good. Just a different way to experience crescent lunge. We'll hold for the inhale and exhale. One more time, inhale. Beautiful, exhale. On your next inhalation, both hands come up. Exhale, again, yogi's choice. If you want to take that vinyasa, it's there. Otherwise, just meet us in downward facing dog. No pressure. Good. And let's get that on the opposite side, shall we? So on your next inhale, left leg comes up and back. It's three-legged dog. Exhale. Let's come into down dog with a twist. And again, meditating on that mantra, as above, so below, as within, so without. On your next inhale, that left leg comes up and back. Exhale, we're gonna once again root to rise up through that crescent lunge, remaining upright on the ball of the right foot this time. Both hands come up. And once again, friends, you do have options here if you want to remain upright, this time with the right hand. Left hand will come to the back of the right thigh here. And like I mentioned before, it's just imitating that theme, as above, so below. Okay, so play around with your options here. We'll hold for another inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Gorgeous. Let's go ahead and bring both hands up once again. Exhale. This time we will meet in child's pose, but again, you're welcome to grab a quick vinyasa before we all arrive into child's pose, taking a moment just to recalibrate, come back to your breath, come back to your intention, right? Again, viewing our bodies as just these sacred temples, walking sacred geometry. Beautiful. Now from here, friends, we are going to continue to add on into our flow, but you're welcome to stay in child's pose for as long as you need to. But from here, we're going to play around with side plank, cultivating abdominal strength. So from here, on your next inhale, we're going to come up into tabletop pose. So first, I'm going to show you how to modify this pose, and then some other ways that you can take the full expression of plank pose, okay? So starting on hands and knees, tabletop pose, what I'm gonna have you do is kickstand your right foot out towards the side here. So I don't know if you can see my leg there, so it's kind of kicking out towards the side. I'm gonna start to shift my weight into that right knee, into the palm of my right hand. I'm rooting through the outer edge of my left foot here as I bring my hand, my left hand in this case, skyward. Okay, so this is plenty. If this is good for you, I want you to stay here, friends. But if you have it in your practice, of course, you can cross that right foot in front of the left, maybe stack the feet on top and challenge your balance here. And we're just gonna go for like 5 counts here. So starting at 5, 4, 3, I'm wobbling a bit and that's cool, 2, and 1. Gorgeous. Let's come back once again. All of us coming back into tabletop pose. Take a moment. Come back to your breath. All right, let's take this on the opposite side. So this time we'll kickstand that left leg out to start, starting to shift our weight into the left palm, into that left knee. And once again, if you want to bring that arm up or maybe to your waist for just today, that's fine too. Again, this is your practice. This is your time, your unique expression, Okay, so starting with 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Let's once again come back into tabletop pose. Take a moment here, and then just for good measure, we'll all come back into child's pose. Just taking a moment to get off of those wrists for just a second. All right. So in just a moment here, friends, we are going to build off of our side plank, and I will show you and demonstrate how to do that. And then we'll do it all together as a class here. But just for a moment, let's come back to our breath. Let's come back to our intention for this practice. Gorgeous. Now, from here, friends, I want you to watch me first, and then we will do this all together as a class, okay? So starting off in our side plank, I'm going to have you once again rotate that left foot out. We're going to shift our weight into the left palm, left knee, starting out in a modified side plank. So you can do this from full plank as well, but I'm just going to demonstrate this from a modified position to start, okay? So notice I'm going to have to pivot my foot in just a touch here, in towards my yoga mat, and then check this out. Using the strength of my core, I'm going to start to pick up my right foot and step it forward. Notice that I'm pivoting also on that back knee. Check this out. I'm going to come up onto the ball of my left foot. Does this look familiar at all? So we're going to come back once again into that crescent lunge, and then from here what I'm going to have you do is we're going to just turn this into a little bit of a dance. So notice that I'm pivoting onto my feet. I'm bringing my hands together at heart center, carrying that energy with me, and then I'm going to take it over in the opposite direction. Okay? And then once again, I'll pivot onto my feet. You may want to shorten your stance to make this happen, okay? But I'm going to go ahead once again and come back into plank pose with you. Side plank. Let's prepare all together here. Okay, so once again, on your next inhale, start to tuck in that foot just a little bit here towards the mat. I'm going to carefully step, and that might happen in a couple steps, maybe not one smooth motion, and that's fine. And then let's come up onto the ball of the left foot. Gorgeous. Left hand comes up. Right hand can either go to the waist or the back of the thigh. And let's dance a little bit, okay? So let's go ahead and pivot onto the feet, bringing those hands together. And I have to kind of maneuver my feet a little bit, pivoting. Good. And like I said, just make this fun. Make this your unique expression. This should feel really good in that hip flexor, in that psoas. Good. Using your breath to guide you, as above, so below, as within, so without. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and pivot in the opposite direction. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Let's make our transition out. So both hands will come down. Notice that you're going to come down this time onto the right knee. I want you to kickstand that foot out, shifting your weight into your right hand, coming back through that modified plank or just traditional plank, that's fine. Good, exhale. And you know what? Just for good measure, let's just take one more vinyasa if you would like to get it. Closing that off before coming back into a well-deserved child's pose. Thank you for playing around with that. Thank you for dancing with me. Come back to your breath, friends. Beautiful. All right, so I have one closing posture for us, just a nice feel-good stretch here. Again, getting into the psoas, getting into the side of the body. So in yin style practice, this is called bananasana because you're kind of making like an arch banana shape with your body. And you know what I'll do first? I'll stand up and kind of imitate what the shape is going to look like before we lie down flat on the mat. That might be easier for some of you to visualize. So if you're imagining I'm lying flat on my mat, I'm simply going to just cross one ankle over the other, kind of walking my feet to the corner of my right hand mat here, and then I'm going to lean over, creating that nice banana kind of arch shape. Notice I'm grabbing onto my wrists. You can grab onto opposite elbows, maybe keep your arms down by your sides, okay? So we're going to do that from a supine position, making our way onto our backs here. Beautiful job, everyone. Excellent effort. Let's go ahead and walk those feet to the right-hand corner of the mat. And again, you can cross the ankles, you can grab onto opposite elbows, maybe grabbing onto the opposite wrist. Of course, arms can always be down and along your side here. And let's just enjoy this nice release for the psoas, for the side of the body, for the intercostal space. And just making any adjustments as needed. We'll hold here for one more inhale, friends. Exhale, let that go. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and take this over in the opposite direction this time. So taking this opportunity to readjust, walking the feet over towards the left-hand corner this time. Again, leaning over towards the left wall. And again, any modifications here, friends? Just enjoying this nice stretch for the side body. Just letting the breath be nice and smooth and even. Slowing down our heart rate. And we'll just stay here for one more inhale together, friends. Exhale, let that go. Let's go ahead and walk everything back towards center, towards midline. And yeah, let's just give ourselves a nice little hug here. Nice, drawing those knees in towards our chest if you want to rock side to side. So if this is all the time that you have, friends, I do want to close off this practice with you. However, if you want to take Shavasana or maybe meditation, there's actually a meditation that deals with the first law of mentalism that I will have linked down below for you if you want to check that out, okay? But otherwise, thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope that you learned something new about the 7 Hermetic Principles. I hope you feel amazing in your body, and I cannot wait to see you in the next part of this series. Until next time, namaste.